Okay, everybody. This is going to be recorded and put on YouTube. So if you want to watch it in real time or share it, feel free to. Let me introduce myself. My name is Fred Christian. I am the founder of Hashtag Impact at Impact Media Incorporated. Oh, 1 second, please. I got to send somebody the link. Hang on. One second, guys. I apologize for this delay. Back to Lana. Welcome back. Okay, everybody. We already started recording, so I'm just going to go ahead and open us in prayer. And when everybody is able to join us, I will let that go forward. Okay. Lord, bless this meeting. Bless all that participated and are kind enough to come on today and help us and give their thoughts and information, and just bless them all. And those who couldn't be here, we bless them too. And we ask you to give us a good meeting, because we need to do some things with healthcare. We need to do some things with stopping gun violence. And we need to also do some stuff with housing. Unfortunately, housing we cannot cover today, but we will be having the other two things covered. So we will be doing this in a few seconds. So let me get going with it. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, again, my name is Fred Christian. I'm the founder of Hashtag Impact at Impact Media. I want to welcome my friends from social media who were kind enough to join us today.
From Florida. He said yesterday we need to have a meeting, such and such and such healthcare and all this different stuff.
Yes.
I,
Kelly, can you please mute?
That's not me, Fred.
I said Kelly, not Joey. Kelly, Miss Kelly. Okay, whoever's on, can you please mute? Thank you. Thank you. Okay, back to what we're saying. I'm going to bring on Miss Anna Christina right now. She is from Florida Decides Healthcare, which is the people doing the petitions. We've had, unfortunately, a little setback, which she's going to explain to you, but this setback is going to be a positive for this organization and for getting Medicaid. See, currently 1 to 2 million people estimated it needed in Florida, which I was one of at one point. So without further ado, Miss Anna Christina, can you please tell them what's going on with the petitions, what you'd like us to do, and where we're going to go from here?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have reached the difficult decision and made the announcement today to pivot to 2028. What this means practically is that we are going to stop all petition distribution currently and start back up again in February for the 2028 cycle. So that would be February 2026. We can start getting petitions again. The decision was really based in response to HB 1205 and the continuing changes, and really sort of the last nail there was the 11th Circuit ruling to put a stay on the second preliminary injunction, which no longer allows non-Florida residents to circulate petitions. It was really just like the final thing, that it's just one hurdle too many and we don't want to waste anyone's time. So we'd rather come back stronger and ready to kick butt in February and really get this done for the 2028 cycle. So, we've learned a lot, obviously, about distribution and the changes to the way we do this. And we will have all of the data from folks who signed the petition currently for the next cycle to ask them to sign again. Yeah, so that's where we are as of today. Oh, I think you're muted, Fred.
I want to reiterate, Impact Media will be in this fight for long as it takes. We are here. As long as we're physically and mentally and emotionally able to do this and financially able to do this, we will be in this fight. We believe 2028 will be the year. We've waited a long time for this. I waited exactly 2013, which is going to be 15 years for this long thing. And it's very grueling. You know, you have to think of the people like I was that went 30 years without healthcare. Some that are going in and out of the gaps, in and out. You know, you have to think of them. You know, really, this is who we're doing this for. We're doing this Zoom today for them, but we're also doing it for those who are victims of gun violence and their families. We're also doing it for victims of people who are short of homes, struggling with rent too. So we're trying to make a little dent and show that we care today about these issues with the weekend summit today. But I want to thank you, Anna Christina. If you can stick around and participate, we'd love to have you participate because your insights will be very valuable to what we're doing. Because as you know, we are trying to connect housing, healthcare, and gun violence together to grow this coalition so we can have more people involved.
Absolutely. And just to say one more thing, with the ACA tax credits expiring, we're going to go from 1.4 million people without healthcare access who could gain it through MedX to over 3 million. We're going to go to potentially 1 in 5 people in Florida without healthcare access. So if anything, the fight is more important than ever, and we're in it for the long haul. I appreciate that you all as well.
Thank you. We are in this for the long haul. And what we discussed yesterday on the Zoom on Monday, on your Zoom, was the clinics. You know, I want to let people know there are free clinics available for people. We do support this. However, these clinics are going to get overrun with people. If you do, you can confirm what we discussed. Can you please?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. The reality is it's a huge strain on the system to have this many people without health care. We're already 47th in the country, and it's only going to get worse. And while, yes, free clinics are doing an incredible job, and with what resources they have, those are limited resources, right? They're finite. And those resources are going to run out ultimately if we don't find a better solution here by expanding Medicaid.
If we have to, because I read today, I Googled it for myself for my meme making, we might potentially have 35 to 50 million people by 2036 or 2032 without healthcare. We can't go backwards, folks. We can't. I hope you all will sincerely listen to us. And anybody, Pat, I know you're on listening. Kelly, I know you're on listening. You guys are two of the best people on Twitter I know that came on, except for Nicole. We've got to reiterate to people that we can't go backwards with this. We have got to go forward. And Medicaid expansion will help that. ACA tax credits are going to help that. And that's why we're here today. So I want to thank you, Anna Christina. And I'm going to go ahead and start the program now because Ideal is unfortunately not here. So, okay, let me go ahead and start the program. Okay, guys. Juana, if you're available, or Miss Joey, I'd like you to come on. And I want to ask you 3 quick questions. Why is access to healthcare important? Why is stopping gun violence important? And why is access to housing important? If anyone on Zoom would like to also chime in, Amy, Pat, Kelly, anyone else would like to chime in, please raise your hand. But Joey or Tawana, which one of you like to go first, please, with us? Okay. Amy,
Okay, Fred, I hear you. I was trying to mute my background.
go, Joey.
Say it again.
Why is access to healthcare important? Why is why is stopping gun violence important? And why is access to housing important?
I think that I'm going to answer the one. Healthcare is because you need to be healthy and well. And everybody should have a constitutional right to have access to healthcare. I feel it's a personal God-given right. And gun violence is bad because it destroys the population and the longevity of people who have been born in this world with purpose, and so it kills your dreams, and it's detrimental to the whole society. And what the last one was, Fred?
Last one was, why is access to housing and affordable housing important?
I think all is because you need the basics. I think to all of this is that your basics never change. It's like Maslow hierarchy needs. You need to have all those fundamentals in order to thrive as a human being. And I'm complete.
Good. Tawana, would you like to weigh in on any of this?
Sure. I believe that healthcare and housing, they are two of the most important needs that we have. We really need healthcare. We need to have stronger minds, to be stronger to work, to be able to function in society. So healthcare covers an array of things, not only like making sure that your body is right, but also your mind. And that's very important, to go to your yearly checkup, to make sure the mammograms are happening. But if you don't have health care, you're not thinking about going to the yearly checkup and getting those screenings that you must have by a certain age. And on the other hand, you still have people with health care and they afraid of the doctor. So we just got to find common ground so we can all, live longer and more productive lives, because it's so much preventive methods that we can take to make sure we live longer lives, but we have to be receptive to what we need to do as individuals with and without health care to just try to live better lives. Healthcare is extremely important, and housing is extremely important. You need to be healthy and you have to have a place to live. We have many individuals who are unable to afford houses. You see a lot of families, they're even moving together, people moving out of the state to find cheaper places to live. You have people that are returning to their parents because the rent is so high and they can't afford it. You have people that are in their 20s. I know everyone doesn't have a degree, but you have people that have graduated college in their 20s. They cannot afford to buy a home in Miami-Dade County. And that's insane, because we press our students, our loved ones, our significant others to go and prosper in life, but prosper at what cost? Because you're paying for college, that's more debt, and that's why it's important to have affordable housing, and it should be rent limits. Like, it's crazy because growing up, when I got on my own at 19 years old, my rent was $275. So $275 was an easy feat for me to attain with working at a gas station. So imagine now when you can't pay 200 and something dollars for rent, it's actually 2,000 and something for rent. So it's extremely important to have affordable housing, to have health care. And in reality, if we had those two, where people could have a more normal sense of life, I think we would curb gun violence, because the struggle, living in poverty, all of that's connected to gun violence. So we just have to have better lives throughout and connect all the three, and we can do better because it's all connected. And some people don't want to see it as connected, because I was on a Zoom before with someone and they said poverty has nothing to do with housing and gun violence and stuff like that, but it's all related. If you sit back and really study the brain, study how people act in certain societies, and not labeling inner cities. However, most of the violence comes from inner cities. And of course, affluent neighborhoods, they have violence too, but most of the violence are in the same zip codes. And this is why it's important to have the conversation and do something about it with the lawmakers, and make people accountable. Even if it's your family member. My family member killed somebody, I'm going to turn them in. And if somebody killed my family member, I'm going to help turn that person in. And I'm complete, because y'all know I can talk.
Thank you so much for coming on. We'll probably have you come back if you want to piggyback. Amy, would you like to weigh in now on the 3 questions?
I mean, basically what Tawana said. I agree with what she said. They're all intertwined. They're all intertwined within each other. Housing, healthcare, and gun violence, they're all intertwined with each other. The statistics state that most of the violence and the guns, shootings, and all that, unfortunately, happen in the communities and in the neighborhoods of where people live in poverty. Because for them it's easy access to get it, and for them it's just a quick way for them to get money and things like that for to provide for their homes. You got to look at it on both sides of the spectrum. A thief is not a thief not because they want to be a thief. You understand? If that thief has 5 kids at home and has babies and can't find a job, or has a job and they don't pay him enough, or they discriminate, or they treat him badly, it's a lot of factors. So for me, they all intertwine each other. You fix one, you fix all 3. I'm complete.
Right, Amy, thank you. Before I pivot on to the rest of the audience who would like to
Rita, be a
participate.
letter, Fred, be a letter trying to get in. People trying to get in, they texting me.
Okay. For whatever reason or not, I'm not able to get them in. I'm not getting the message to let them in. That's interesting. Well, must be my internet, Joey. Must be. I'm sorry. But when I get it, I will let them in. Just tell them please be patient. Okay, guys. I was just thinking of something. I don't know how many of you guys did this when we were in college, Joey, Tawana. It was called the Kohlberg's Moral Dilemma. It was called the Heinz Dilemma, Heinz. I studied in high school and college, and it kind of applies to what we're talking about today. I wanted to do a meme on it, but it was kind of tricky to do. Okay, I'll just tell it real quick. There was a man named Heinz, and Heinz had a sick wife. Now, Heinz had a bad dilemma. He wanted his wife to live. This for pharmacists, because at the time it wasn't like now with Big Pharma with this story. The pharmacist came up with a plan to heal people. It's supposedly cancer or something like that. Now, Heinz went and begged this man because he was poor for the medicine. He turned him down because he was greedy. Heinz had a dilemma. He begged his friends, went to his church, supposedly, did all he could do. Heinz's dilemma was, how did he have to save his wife? And what did Heinz do? One scenario was Heinz turned to violence. One was that Heinz got help. And the third one was that Heinz's wife died because he couldn't do anything. We don't need any of these 3 scenarios. And basically with healthcare, we're going to become the Heinz dilemma. With housing, we're going to become the Heinz dilemma. And with gun violence right now, we are the Heinz dilemma. So I'm pretty much complete with that. It's Heinz dilemma if anybody wants to look it up. So, Shatavia, would you like to weigh in?
Sure. I'll talk a little bit about the housing because that's the field that I'm in right now. I work for the VA as an outreach social worker, and also oversee the Salvation Army program where we house homeless veterans. So it's just interesting question because I get a lot of homeless veterans that come into my office who are struggling, not just with, stabilizing or securing permanent housing, but they're also having other issues with, whether it's medical conditions, whether it's mental health issues, and we see a lot of that. So when they come in, you would think, okay, well, I lost my job, or I fell on hard times. But many of them that does come into our office, it's related to their mental health. It's related to substance abuse. It's related to some type of medical condition. So like everyone has been saying, it's kind of been the theme that everything is connected. So we can't say that we're going to focus more on healthcare, or we can't just focus on just, gun violence, but we have to be able to um work on all of them simultaneously, pour and also too in the school systems. I remember working in the schools where sometimes there were young babies and or parents that we would talk to and say, hey, I need assistance in this area, or we're sleeping in our car. And then of course we would have to call DCF and everything. But it's just interesting to know as you get older, and just I encourage all of us too, as we talk to one another, as we engage in a community, as we talk to peers and loved ones and stuff, man, ask questions. When you check in with people too, hey, how's home? You know what I mean? Ask them, because sometimes people are sleeping in their cars. Sometimes people are couch surfing too. So it's a lot of stress that is happening, that people are experiencing these days. And not just elderly people, not just adults, but young adults, all the way to the teens. And I hate seeing when veterans come in, and they have kids with them, and it breaks my heart, because in that moment, sometimes I'm unable to assist them right away. But again, this is a great conversation, Fred. And so my piece is that, all of it absolutely is connected. So as we connect with each other, let's ask each other questions about, hey, sometimes when we say, how you doing, be more specific. How is home? Do you have somewhere to stay? You know what I mean? And then, you'll be surprised at what a person tell you. Hey, I'm sleeping in my car. And then you may have a resource. Hey, are you a veteran? You can go here, you can go to this place, or you can talk to this individual. You can talk to a social worker. So let's just stay connected and check in with each other more often. Because you'll be surprised. The very person in you that may seem like they have it all together, they may not have it together. So, and more often people who are struggling, have mental health and substance abuse and medical issues as well.
So much, Shatavia. You do have a question from Amy or Mariami in the chat. If you can address it, please. She's also a member of CCE.
Okay, sure. I have 2 minutes because I have a kind. Okay, let me see. I'm trying to get some resources free for low cost mental health services for my daughter. Can you help? Absolutely. I have to jump off the line. I'll send you my email and my phone number, and you can reach out to me directly. And I got you. Is there another question?
You so much, though. Appreciate it so much.
No
Appreciate
problem.
it.
Sorry, I couldn't stay. I have a session at 6:30, but I wanted to support.
Satavia,
Yes, I'm here.
my issue is that she's not in Florida.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, she's in Texas.
Okay, that's fine. I'm gonna text you my number right now. It's my Google number, 6225.
Satavia, that was very great. Like it was extraordinary. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Miss
That was
Aiken.
super powerful. That was super huge. We needed that
Yes, we
tonight.
love you,
We needed
Shante.
that. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies, and thank you, Fred. Thank you, everyone. This is a great conversation. I plan to see you guys Saturday for a little bit. So, blessings to everybody. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Good
Thank
night.
you.
You're welcome.
Let me ask.
Huh?
Let me ask our next panelist now. Shakita Days, would you
Satavia.
like to weigh in
Okay.
on any?
I'm
Shakita Days, would you like to weigh in on any of this?
Hello. I mean, I agree, like with Tawana. Everything is connected. The housing, the medical, the gun violence, all of that stems from poverty issues, financial issues. That people that get cared for, they have the proper insurance, they have the money to do it. People who commit crime, they commit crime because they're looking for the next dollar to feed themselves. So just like she said, everything is connected. So if we can fix that poverty issue, we can correct that, then we can correct everything. We know a lot of people live longer because they have the proper insurance. I'm sorry, my background, but I agree with Tawana. They're all connected. And if we can find the results to the issues, then we can move forward. Because poverty is a big part of the problem in every state and in every town.
Okay, great, Kelly. Kelly Smith, would you like to weigh in now? We thank you for your patience. Let me just introduce you to everybody. This is my friend, Miss Kelly. She's from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. She's joining us tonight. Miss Kelly, this is the Community Collaboration Exchange members that we're with, not and partially some impact team members. If you want to talk to them afterwards, feel free to. Do you have anything? Would you like to weigh in? Because you work with disabled people too in Philadelphia, and we appreciate you for it. Is there anything you'd like to weigh in with on this?
No, sir. I'm just learning and appreciate everybody.
Okay, then. Thank you. Thank you for coming on. Thank you. Well, let's go to, okay. Let's see. Asia, would you like to weigh in with anything? Let me get you up to speed because you came in late. Our three questions are, why is access to healthcare important? Why is stopping gun violence important? And why is access to housing important? Would you like to weigh in, Asia? If anybody else would like to add anything to the discussion we had on housing or healthcare tonight, feel free to. If not, let me know and we can, go home and I'll cut it short. But I want to thank everybody for coming on. Unfortunately, Anna Christina had to leave. She had a meeting. So, okay, guys. I want to thank everybody for their time today. It was a short one, but it was a great one. It was very powerful. So we're going to end this one now. Kelly, thank you for coming on from Philadelphia. We appreciate you. Tawana, can you put in the chat for anybody who wants to about CCE and the information for a minute or two before we leave? Please. So, okay. So, I'm going to respond to this for a few minutes because it's not fair. I'm the host, so I should respond to this. Why is access to healthcare important? My closing thoughts. Okay. It's important because I went without it. It's important because 1 million people are going without it in Florida right now. It's important because nobody should be going without healthcare in the state of Florida or the United States of America right now. That's why access to healthcare is important. Why is stopping gun violence important? Because people are dying right and left. Our kids are dying right and left. And it's not getting better, it's getting worse because now we have a government that's wanting to promote more guns, not less. So we got our work cut out for us with banning assault weapons, red flag laws, background checks, etc. on this part. And the mental health issue, which Ms. Joey and Tawana and Ms. Shatavia do quite well, and Amy does too. Finally, my answer to the question, why is housing important? Everybody deserves a place to live. Everybody deserves shelter. We should not have people sitting on the streets with no place to go or going into subpar shelters that are not safe. Families that are broken up should have a place to go. They shouldn't be struggling living in cars. We shouldn't be having people right now maxed out for rent with greedy landlords and slumlords charging you and not fixing things. And it's a horrific mess with the housing. I'm starting to do it now, and it's a horrific mess. The average rent in Miami-Dade County starts at $3,000, folks. $5,000 for a 3 to 4 bedroom apartment or home on average, $4,000 to $5,000. Who can afford that? Who? We've got evictions up the rear end in the state, and we've got a lot of greedy corporate landlords right now that are just taking advantage of everybody. And a lot of the people are suffering are your Burger King, McDonald's workers, your grocery store workers, and your retail workers, plus your laborers, lawn crews, construction workers. A lot of them are struggling to afford rent right now. This is the little elephant in the room that hasn't come to light yet. Yeah, we see gun violence. Yes, we see the healthcare right now because of what they voted on in the Congress. But this housing thing, people have been saying it for the past 10 years and been having problems with it, and no one has done anything about it. Evictions go up, 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 rents go up, 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 and the problem doesn't get solved, and people struggle to find a place to live. People struggle with healthcare right now because the price of medicine goes up. Access to care is hard to get in some cases if you don't have insurance. So we got a lot of work cut out for us. And I want to thank you guys for joining us tonight. Thank you again. God bless. Okay, we're gonna end the recording now.